Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if my mic is working. Is it working?
Yes.
Okay. I saw some people sitting right in the front and then going off piche. Don't worry, I'm not going to pull you up for questions or AC is too much here or something like that.
That's also
Understood. So it is always a privilege to have the first session after lunch. Because
it's a challenge as well.
It is a challenge, yes, and maybe the sarcasm in my privilege was not as much, but it is always that, yes, it is a challenge, but it's also fun because the few who pay attention really want to be here. So people are not here just for, chal yaar, upar jana hai, let's go there, or something like that. So thank you for taking the time out of the exciting things happening somewhere else for everybody else and being here. So we'll get started. So my talk is about B2B e-commerce. We're going to be talking about essential features for B2B. What features make a B2B e-commerce system successful? What features are B2B e-commerce merchants looking to implement? What features are B2B e-commerce solutions building into their systems to become viable competition to each other and viable solutions for merchants around the world? So let's get started. A quick introduction to B2B first, before we get into the features, essential features of B2B e-commerce. Who are B2B enterprises? So what's the profile of people here? Merchants, developers, technology implementation, analysts, sales. Merchants, anybody? Any merchant? One merchant. There's one merchant. Please raise your hand. Can you stand up, please? Stand up, please. See, I know you, but I want everyone else to see you as well. He's the merchant, guys. This is why you came to this event. To meet this merchant, and there's one more merchant downstairs. Both of them, please go and meet them surely. Thank you so much for making it to this presentation. So a B2B enterprise is an enterprise which sells, manufactures, creates, or sells to companies or agencies which have no intention of consuming their product. Their intention is to resell or distribute or redistribute to another, either someone else in the supply chain, another business in the supply chain, or possibly the end user. So that's the distinctive special difference between a B2B and a B2C or B2B and a D2C solution. Which are the types of B2B solutions or B2B enterprises? We know manufacturers, they create stuff, right? So with a push of manufacturing happening everywhere around the world. So it is like make in star. Make in India, make in America, make in wherever around. Everybody wants to get back to manufacturing so that boost and increase their economy. Is my mic fluttered? I think it's back. And then wholesalers and distributors, which are the essentials of any supply chain. So from age-old enterprises have tried to cut out the wholesaler, not successful. They've tried to cut out distributors, not successful. Distributors and wholesalers are essential supply chain entails. You know, some of them are middle of the funnel, some of them are end of the funnel. But this supply chain that has evolved over centuries is not something to be scoffed at. Distributors have a very critical function that manufacturers cannot replace. Wholesalers have a very specific function that distributors and manufacturers cannot replace. There's a lot of attempt at doing that in the D2C space, direct to customer space, but that's for another session altogether. Digital transformation for B2B sellers is what we are talking about today, because digital transformation, besides moving into the IT systems for all other solutions, it also means embracing e-commerce for sales and fulfilling their orders into their next purchase buyer in the supply chain. So some quick numbers. 25 trillion, TN, I don't know if you've ever seen the word trillion mentioned in that way. 25 trillion is the B2B market, expected B2B market in America, and it's growing at 18% CAGR. Don't worry, this is not a typo. That's not trillion, that's billion. 50 billion in India. So we're about 500 times smaller, but still very big for an economy of India's size. So the Indian B2B market is going to be about $50 billion in this year or very soon, and growing much faster than the American market. We have the advantage of a smaller base, so our percentage will be larger, but there's growth. And one thing that all of us will understand, will know as merchants, as people searching for jobs, as people in business, in an industry where there's growth, there's a lot of opportunity for commerce for everybody. So this is a great industry to be in, where there's massive compound growth in all geographies. This metric is the metric that you should keep in mind to decide to serve the B2B market if you're a service provider, or decide to build a solution or a product if you're a solution or a product provider. Less than 20%, around 18% of the world B2B transactions are completed via the digital channel. Less than 18%. So that's shocking, because less than a fifth of the world's transactions still happen on e-commerce. Imagine the growth opportunity for B2B businesses. Overall, e-commerce is growing, even B2C is growing a lot, but there is a disadvantage in B2B that the base is low. Now, adoption has been low till recent. COVID has helped boost the adoption, so B2B is growing, will grow. So get into the flip through some of the features, the broad level features. I'm not going to be spending too much time on them because we don't have too much time in this session. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to be aware of the features that any well-designed industry standard e-commerce system should have. Okay, and then we'll pause for questions after that. So core features. What are the core features for a B2B system? Custom pricing and tiered pricing. Custom pricing is something that is only specific to B2B, because B2B has a lot of segmentation of their customers. You could have a B2B selling to a large enterprise. They would have negotiated rates based on volume. You would have buyer groups. You will have different CRM segments and have different tiers of volume discounts based on purchases. So it's unique to B2B that the pricing is dependent on the buyer. This will create enormous dislike in B2C if they find out that because of the phone I use, I'm charged differently. You've heard that story, whether it's true or not. But B2B, it's second nature for B2B to have different pricing for different users. So your system better support it. Payment options are not as simple as payment options in a B2C system. The payment options in a B2B system have to be more flexible. You have to be able to support a purchase order. You have to be able to give credit notes. You have to be able to offer delayed payments. You have to be able to take credit cards on file. Something that, when you take a credit card on file, you violate PCI compliance, because the data is with you, and if it gets stolen, you are exposing your customers' information. But for the B2B space, it is a commonplace transaction. It is a commonplace activity. How does your system support that? How does your system enable that is a very critical piece of B2B. Advanced catalog management. So for B2C, this is called product management. But if you notice, there's a shift in nomenclature in B2B. It's called catalog management. So the catalog, where does this word catalog come from? It literally comes from those thick books that we used to keep on our desks once in a while. So thick printouts, rich color printouts on catalogs of products that manufacturers and distributors would give around, and you'd keep happily on your desk to showcase that it looks good. So it moved from there. The B2B business has now, first went on to online catalogs. So online catalogs, flippable catalogs. And then now we have e-commerce stores which have products but then are called catalogs. So we need advanced catalog management. So specific display of products, enabling bulk orders. So catalog management is another specific B2B feature that you have to excel at if you're a service provider. You need to build if you're a merchant, and you need to have in your product if you're a product builder. The next thing that B2B is slightly different in B2C is in transactions. How do transactions occur with your buyer, the transaction between buyers and sellers? So there's quote management. So you don't have quotations in a B2C system. A quote management system covers asking for a discount, asking for a price, offering a mid-price, having a third iteration, and then both shaking on an agreement. Bulk of B2B businesses happen like this because there are a lot of variables in B2B sales that are not directly related to cost. For example, a B2B business might have large stock of an item, and he wants to clear it off before the new manufactured goods are coming into his into his factory. So he might be open to an extra discount on those products. A B2B buyer may be looking at a steady recurring purchase commitment, which is then more predictable for the manufacturer, so they would offer a special discount. So quote management and managing this in the system is a very critical functionality of a B2B e-commerce system solution. Order management, again, because there's bulk uploading. A lot of buyers in the B2B space are not buyers who come get attracted by the pretty photos and the pretty images of the products and buy. The B2B buyer knows exactly what they want. Buy the order number, part number, SKU, size, grit, width, circumference. They know the details and they want to order it quickly. They don't want to get distracted with Diwali sale and New Year sale and Halloween sale. They just want to get to their product, place the order and go on with their daily tasks. Account management and personalization, another big piece of customization in B2B. So, you know, we've all faced this in our Amazon accounts, that you share your password to somebody, you share it to your spouse, to your brother, to your children, and they say they log in and make an order on your behalf. That's not possible in B2B purchases. So you need the ability to have company accounts. You need the ability to have role-based account management, allowing users to log in, execute on behalf of the buyer company. They might have restrictions based on products they can buy, quantities they can place, orders they can place orders on. So many restrictions can be optimized so that it smooths the process and delegation can happen in the B2B buyer space. Personalization is in terms of dashboards. So they'd like to see specialized dashboards focused on their catalogs, on their products that they buy, their order history, specific pricing that they want to see, their quotation history of their quotations and the negotiations they've done. So personalized reports are very important for B2B buyers. So the B2B buyer, when he comes in and logs into your portal or website, they should feel like this whole website has been built for me. My orders, my products, my prices, my history of orders, and so it's like a mini website built for me. That's a beautiful feature of B2B customization and account management. Integration is another big one, another massive one. If there is one reason I have heard again and again about B2B customers moving away from e-commerce providers who couldn't fulfill their needs, it's because they were not able to give a good integration solution. Integration is underplayed by agencies when they provide a solution to merchants. Integration is something which is very critical for a B2B business because the business is already running. Remember, only 18% of their transactions, give or take, are online. They have over 70% of transactions happening in another system. Could be Oracle, Salesforce, could be Epicor, could be so many systems. They want to make sure that those systems work seamlessly with the new system that you're providing for them. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't matter how beautiful, slick, fast, useful your new system is. If it doesn't integrate, it's no use to you. The other important integration criteria is that there are many B2B businesses working with 20-year-old legacy systems, DOS-based systems, command line-based systems. They don't want to get rid of them for good reason. And you need to be able to integrate to them. You can't say, no, I need only the latest web, I need only the latest GraphQL interface, otherwise I can't interface with you. You need the flexibility of being able to talk to any and every system living in the IT ecosystem of the seller, of the merchant. Import and export of data. If you're a manufacturer, you need to be able to distribute your product information to hundreds and sometimes thousands of distributors under single click with good formatting, with good XML, with good digital assets. If you're a distributor, you need to be able to import the same information from dozens, if not hundreds, of manufacturers. A very critical feature that is missed in an e-commerce solution, the import and export of data. Could be via a product information management system, could be via a PIM, or it could be direct to your e-commerce system. Advanced shipping and logistics. Some of you here might have heard of these. Multi-inventory, multi-location warehouses, pick up something from there, deliver to a third party in quantity. Rules freight, depending on how the product, whether you're shipping by dimension, whether you're shipping by weight or a combination. What about LTL, full truckload, less than a truckload? Are you selling, how do you impact pricing based on the volume of your products? New concepts that B2C solution providers don't often understand. Customers are very sensitive, the B2B businesses are very sensitive because for the last 200 years they've been doing this business in this way. They'd like a system which will mimic those business practices and help them to do it better, but mimic them to the large part. Delivery scheduling. So manufacturers schedule at a heartbeat based on raw material availability, process execution. Distributors will have limited storage space in their warehouses. They don't want too much material to be landing before they offload the product to, let's say, the retailers. So everything has to be timed correctly. If a truckload of batteries shows up at a distributor at the wrong time, they don't know what to do. It'll literally sit outside the factory because either they don't have the labor to offload, they don't have the space to store, or they don't have the facilities to actually process the inbound shipment. So scheduling and sticking to those schedules, all subtle differences in a B2B system. So we've quickly gone through the trend, we've quickly gone through the key features, essential features. If you want to build an e-commerce system, make sure that you have at least these systems in place. If you are a merchant, make sure, and you're looking to go to B2B e-commerce, make sure that you ask and work with an agency or a service provider which understands the language of these B2B features. There are some upcoming trends that I'd like to quickly flip through to just bring you up to speed about the upcoming B2B trends. I say upcoming, I'm not saying the future, because some companies, some B2B merchants are already implementing this, but not all. But they are going to become ubiquitous very soon. Data enrichment using AI. We've already seen this happening with some of our customers. Not all of them do it, but you use AI to enhance the meta information, the description, product information, sanitization, to identify the right labels, to make sure that the multiple variants of the product don't have the same SEO information. So data enrichment with AI is right now small, but it's going to become big. B2B is going to embrace it because they have a problem with data quality. They have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of product sets, and their quality of the data describing those core product sets is below average. Most distributors face this problem when they get information from manufacturers. It's the same cut and paste text which has been used for the last 10 years for all products. So then they have to hire somebody to enrich that data. OCR, optical character recognition, to integrate manual processes into digital processes. This is happening bits and pieces, but it will also become automatic. So there is one option which says stop all your scribbling, stop all your notepads, stop all your order taking and move to the system. And this is the hybrid solution which says, okay, use the new system as much as possible, but if you have orders which are scribbled, I can take a photo, I can upload it, and it can still be processed as a digital order. It is going to come in the future, it is going to expand and explode in the future. AI-based competitor information scraping. This is already there for B2C, but it's going to happen for B2B as well. Because B2B needs information to decide what are the new products to sell, which products do I stock, which products do I sell, which products do I move, which products do I hold on to because the price is going to go up. So a lot of intelligence, and all of this information is going to be captured within AI tools, within business analysis tools, and people are going to use this either as services or in-house teams doing this work. It's going to become a big thing. Digitization of contracts is it's still very, very sporadic. So order is placed, order competitor information. Yeah.
Second thing is it a legitimate practice?
Good question. So the gentleman here has a question about the competitor information scraping. So to address the part about the legitimacy. So an action becomes legitimate if the process followed is legal. It's as simple as that. If the process, if you, let's say, send in a spy to your competitor's office, and then he pretends to be an employee, and then he goes and gets the downloaded products, not legitimate, not legal, it's not going to work. But if you go to their website and download the information they have provided, which is for public consumption, and then you bring that information down, collate it, analyze it, put it together, pivot it, and may get some insights from it, that's legitimate. So scraping does not mean getting anything that you don't have access to legally. Scraping and analyzing, it relies upon technology to do it fast. So imagine if you have to hire people to do this, by the time they go to, let's say, 3,000 of your competitors and get all the information, put it together and collate it and give an insight, the information has changed. By then a cycle has come and gone and the pricing and the products have changed, so it's of no use. But if you could use AI or technology or ML, and you could do that in, let's say, 2 days or 3 days, then you can do that every quarter to get an insight. So competitor analysis is a critical business practice for learning, inspiration, and growth. And sometimes there's an age-old Japanese principle which says, study a competitor heavily and breathe a sigh of relief if they don't have anything to learn. That, oh, we're still better than everyone else. So you don't have to only look at a competitor to learn something from them. It's even to know whether you still are way ahead of the market or not, if you are a market leader. So it's about using technology to reduce effort and making it more viable. Okay, thank you for your question. Anybody else has a question? Yes, ma'am?
Hi, Radhika here. It was an amazing session.
Thank you very much. You're very kind.
Just to add to what you were saying and maybe to help you as well, I think AI agents is something that is the future for competitive examination, understanding, as well as it doesn't only understand what the competitor is doing, but also what the user is doing.
Right.
So it does read all the data that is legally available on other websites as well as on the user's computer.
Yeah.
So their sessions, their cookies and everything.
Yeah, good point. Very
Just
good
wanted
point.
to add to it.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Anyone has a question or a comment? I think we're almost done. One last question, anyone? You want to squeeze in? Okay, thank you so much everyone again.